Round 4 of the Aviva Premiership featured shock upsets and unbelievable tries. With the league still in the early stages, clubs were looking for performances to set the tone for the season ahead. The Casam Stadium hosted the Friday night clash between London Welsh and David Humphrey's Gloucester. The hosts had shipped 151 points in their first 3 matches, and midway through the first half their defence was breached again. Johnny May's incisive break carved a way through for his side, the ball eventually falling for Henry Purdy to slide over. Welsh were looking to get forward and make inroads into Gloucester territory, but their accuracy could not match their endeavour. 3 minutes after their first score, the visitors were in again. Charlie Sharples putting on the afterburners as he headed for the try line. Welsh got a foothold in the game when a rolling maul allowed Ben Pienaar to muscle his way over, to the delight of the coaching team. But the Exiles were unable to muster any points at all in the second half, with Gloucester putting them to the sword in the latter stages. Mark Atkinson came off the bench to grab a brace of tries, putting the seal on a useful away win for the West Country outfit. Bath travelled to Franklin's Gardens off the back of their comprehensive victory over Leicester Tigers in round 3, but it was Northampton who started the brighter. Ben Foden's scintillating break unlocking the Bath defence. With the line broken, Khan Fotualihi looked to shift the ball wide. Luke Arscott knocked on, conceding a penalty try and getting 10 minutes in the sin bin. Saints added a second before the Bath response. Davy Wilson wriggling through the tackles on his way to the try line. Into the second half, and Saints restored their commanding position through Callum Clark, before the bonus point score came after a fast-flowing move out wide. George Peacey, the man with the finishing touch. The game looked beyond Bath, but the visitors weighed in with a late flux of scores. Ollie Woodburn went over, followed soon after by replacement Nick Alterac. A late TMO referral ruled out what would have been a crucial score for the visitors, but the champions clung on for victory. Irish hadn't won at Welford Road since 2003, but the Exiles sensed they had a chance going into this one, given Leicester's huge injury list. The Tigers were missing a glut of first-team starters and were behind early on after Shane Geraghty slotted from the tee. The visitors were enjoying plenty of possession and had the game's first try through Halani Alika after a rolling ball deep in Tigers territory. The hosts were struggling to contain their opponents, but were given hope after Exiles lost their key man, Geraghty, to the bin. The penalty was slotted by Freddie Burns, 6:13 at the break. And Leicester drew level after quick thinking from Nicky Gonover. The Fijian had been slotted into the midfielder's injury cover and slipped through to grab Tigers' first try. But the boot of Geraghty kept his side in front, and he slotted the crucial kick with just 2 minutes to play. At the Allianz, it was Sarries who established the early lead over Sale Sharks. Alex Good stepping his way to the sticks after just 2 minutes of the game. Sale did grab a score back, but a brace of Charlie Hodgson penalties and a second try from Ernst Joubert put the hosts firmly in command. Despite a 23-point deficit at half-time, the Sharks came out swinging in the second half. Tom Brady's improvised kick cleared his path to go over for the score. But the result was never in doubt, and Mark McCall's side found the bonus point try through Richard Barrington. Sarries' London rivals Harlequins were in action in the southwest against the Chiefs. They made the ideal start as Kiwi Ben Botica dispatched a first-minute penalty. But it was a mixed afternoon for Botica, who saw a kick charge down, only to fall for Thomas Waldrom. The summer signing showing a turn of pace and some fancy footwork to run in for the try. With both Henry Slade and Gareth Steenson weighing in with first-half penalties, the visitors found themselves trailing by 13 at the break. Aseli Tukora-Tuma snatched a score back for Quins in the second half, but the afternoon belonged to the Chiefs, who ran in 2 further tries from Jack Yandel, leaving Sandy Park rocking. Quins boss Conor O'Shea in no doubt about the performance.
listen, if you're as inaccurate as we were from minute 1 of the game, it's not about them stopping. You're just, handing the ball to them the whole time. You cannot play rugby like that, and it's just so far, it's embarrassing in terms of how far off we were today and of what we are and what we can be. But I said to the guys in there, it is unacceptable, it is embarrassing, and we have to go out against London Welsh next week. We have to do the job at home.
From Sandy Park to Adams Park, where Wasps faced Newcastle, the Falcons took the early initiative through the boot of Juan Pablo Socino, a lead that proved short-lived. Tom Varndell scored the first of his 2 tries in the 16th minute, Wasps slipping through the gears before a superb offload from Elliot Daly. Varndell's second came courtesy of great work from Ashley Johnson, a player enjoying a superb start to the season. And it was bonus point time with 10 minutes to play. Christian Wade's clever turnover setting up Rob Miller for the run-in. Despite a late Newcastle penalty score, the match ended in convincing victory for Wasps. That victory leaves Dai Young's men just outside the playoff spots at this early stage of the season, whilst Newcastle remain at the wrong end of the table. Sarries are now the league's only undefeated side, forming a familiar top 2 combination with Northampton Saints. Bath's loss at the home of the champions shifts them down to 3rd, with the impressive Chiefs making up the top 4. The Exiles' famous win at Welford Road leaves them in the top half, while Tigers and Quins languish in 8th and 9th respectively. London Welsh's disastrous start to the season leaves them rock bottom. They'll take on Quins at the Stoop in round 4. So for all the latest Aviva Premiership news, subscribe to the official YouTube channel or log on to premiershiprugby.tv.